Before I invite James Wright Smith for the last presentation between us and lunch, I want to share with you two questions that I am regularly being asked by our potential clients and by our clients. The first question is, how do we guarantee success? ERP implementation is very troubled aspect of the business. You can buy a machine for £1 million, put it in, it works. You buy a new ERP system for £100,000 and it creates great headaches. And my first response is get a good project manager. Get a good project manager. And I think with Simon and James, we've seen the effect of good, capable project manager. The second question clients tend to ask either during pre-sale or implementation or even post-go live is, Meir, how do we justify the expense? How do we justify the expense? So first I say you need to get your numbers right. The big expense is not what you pay us for the subscription or licenses or for our services. The big expense is the internal time you spend, your management, your employees in implementing the system. Second, how do you measure the success, or how do you justify expense? James shared with us increased turnover, maybe less rejects on the shop floor, maybe better margins, but economic conditions are dynamic. And even post-implementation, your margins can go down because of energy crisis, because of many other factors. And my response to the second question is that look at our clients. We have plenty of clients using Priority 20 years and more, and by using the constant upgrading mechanism, they are still on an updated, cutting-edge technology. The system never gets old. And I think this is, and this is not dependent on economic or any external factors. This is a fact. And once you can use a system just by paying the subscription or maintenance fees, not big expense, and use it for 20 years plus, and this is our commitment to you, our clients, to support you and make sure this product continues to progress for the long term, and allowing you to enjoy it with the basic costs. Nothing more than that. I think this is maybe the best factor for justifying the expense. Now I can invite James Wright Smith for the Priority mobile app presentation.
You're welcome. Can you hear me out there in the dark? Yeah, good. Okay, that's good. We've got the first thing there. Yeah, they're looking hungry, Ian. We need to hurry up. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Sorry, this does take a bit of setting up as we swap over laptops. We've got Jack in charge of the presentation, so that's good. And I just need to bring something up. Great, I think I am there. And I just need my clicker. Okay, right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for the patience. Like Meir said, I'm James. I'm the account manager here at Medatech. It's a relatively new role. We're a very open organisation. And as I say to everybody, if you want to pick up the phone to Meir or anybody else in the organisation, They're there to talk to you. But my role is actually to do that. And I'm the voice of the customer in that organisation. So we do take that very seriously. And we have regular meetings together to reflect on what our customers are telling us at a high level. So that's what I do. I'm going to talk to you today about Priority Mobile. We've been talking a lot about mobile technology today. It seems to have been a bit of a theme this morning. I'm going to talk about the Priority Mobile app itself. And I've been preaching this for the last 8 months to everybody who will listen. And I'm just kind of putting myself out there and talking about it to everybody and showing you how simple it is. So what we're going to talk about today is what is a priority app. Then we're going to talk about why you would use it. I'm going to do a demonstration of some standard apps. We're going to look at how easy it is to create a custom app. And then we're going to talk a little bit about licensing because it's slightly different in the app environment. So what are we talking about here? What is an app? What's the concept of what we're doing? So it's a way of presenting the information from your database and interacting with that database as well. So everything you do on the app, you're doing live in the software. So it's available on any device, be it Apple or Android. Doesn't matter what it is. You get it from Google Play or the App Store. Just download it like you would any other app. So that sounds like the normal thing you get on your phone for your energy supplier or whatever. But what it is an app environment. It means that all the fields that are in priority are also available in the app. And you can adapt that. So it's not a fixed thing that Priority has decided or we've decided you want to look at. It's something that you can adapt yourself. And we're going to look a bit more about that later. But why would you use it? I mean, I have been asked, is it just that shrunk, the normal streams shrunk down? And it's not. I'm sure you can appreciate that replicating the desktop on a tiny device, you're just scrolling around and you're pressing random buttons, it's not going to work. It's too complex a screen. And really, the way to think about it is, it's not for users that are sitting at a desk and working on Priority all day. It's for different users that are doing different things. People that are out on the road, etc. People that are on the shop floor. So they're not doing the same process either. And what that has led to is that different use scenario has led to different licensing, and we're going to talk about that at the end. So what apps are available? We have a number of standard apps. People have mentioned that we've created apps for people as well. They mainly cover things like service, sales, production areas, authorization of various things. And who's going to use these? So people on the shop floor, we've heard about quite a lot, but people that are out on the road, people that are just in a meeting, and you just need to grab them and say, can you authorize that? They can just go on their app and go, yeah, that's done. You're buying it then. Purchase order's gone off. Others available are sort of centre around CRM, parts, service call, inventory. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about inventory as well. And it's a big theme with a lot of customers at the moment. So I'm going to show you a demo. So I'm just going to switch to, thank you. There we go. So we have Priority. I'm sure we're all familiar with this. And I'm just going to create a purchase order. So it's just very simple. Very simple. I need to put in a note. Details, demo. And I'm just going to add 2 lines. It's very simple purchase order. So this won't take up much time just to show you. Just 2 lines. I'm going to order 100 of those. I'll just randomly order 200 of these. Or 300 actually. So that's my simple purchase order created. We're going to look at authorizing in this case. So I want to change it from draft to pending authorization. So that's my status change in the software. So that's it created in Priority, and I'm just going to flip to the app. And just minimize those so you're not looking at too much stuff. There we go. So I'm just going to pop to the app. As you can see, I'm using it on an Android device, so I've downloaded it from the app from the Google Play. I'm just going to click on it to go into it. And this is what it looks like. So I'm logged in as a different user because I'm going to authorize something, so obviously I couldn't authorize using the same user. But I could be logged in my same user details, same username, password, all transfers across. We're looking at purchase approval at the moment, so I'm going to go into that. And it's a purchase order we're approving, so I'm going to go into that. And then I'll take a look at my list. And these are the lists of purchase orders that are assigned to me. As you can see, I've got status coloring in these. I've got one at the top, which is the one I've just created, which is pending authorization. So I'm going to go into that one. And here we can see the top level screen. So this is, all that top level information we'd expect, the vendor, et cetera, et cetera. But because it's priority, we can drill down so we can look at our individual order items. Those are the 2 items we did, and then we can drill down and have a look at those in more detail as well. So at this point, we could, change the quantity. We can make changes that we need to. If it'd been locked down, we couldn't. We could make that. We could reject it. We do all sorts of things. I'm going to go back up because we're going to authorize this because we're just doing something very simple at this point. And if you see in the bottom corner there, the little 3 dots, I'm going to press that. And this brings up our activations. So again, very familiar with what you see in the priority screen, in the main screen. It's just replicating that in a different environment. So I click on that activation. You've got a message, again, reflects your main priority. And then there you have your purchase order authorized. And if I go back in, you've got the nice green line at the top to tell you that's authorized for you. So that's just very simple purchase order authorization. Standard app, just out of the box, just works. So the next thing we're going to look at is another standard app, but it shows you how it unleashes another part of the software and how it works. So I'm going to look at reporting production because we're talking about shop floor a lot today. And I don't have a fancy work order like James did, but I do have a barcode. So I'm going to go into reporting production. We're going to create a new report. And as you can see on the right-hand side, and you saw this in a lot of James's slides, was the little barcode symbol. And what that does, it actually interacts with the device and says, use your camera, this is a barcode you're expecting. So if I click on that, we will see that my camera is enabled, and I click on the barcode. And that's added my work order number. So I could have that work order that James was talking about with that barcode on it. I'm just scanning it. So that's my first thing done. Then I want to say who I am, because we're making people responsible for what they're doing. One of the things that the app allows you to unleash is that, somebody records what they are doing in the organization. So we're going to say employee ID, that we want to know who it is. So say that person has a badge with their barcode on it. You can just scan that barcode. That's that. So employee 99 is doing something. I can record when they start. So 3 o'clock. Okay. And then when they finish, 4 o'clock. So that's added in there. It's given me a labour span of an hour. Obviously, you would expect priority to do that. What is important at this point, though, is if you don't care how long it takes them, we can just take these fields out, and they're gone. And then the person on the shop floor is not seeing that, because people don't want to see fields that they're not using. They don't want to scroll past stuff. It just confuses them, makes them feel complicated. It makes it feel complicated, rather. So we're going to put in a quantity we've done. So I'm going to report on 10. So we've done 10. I can reject here numbers. I can put in a defect code, quantity for MRB, et cetera, et cetera. So I can make those changes should I need to. So I can save that. If I had warmer fingers. Sorry. There we go. So let's give me another error message, say I've done something wrong. But we're fine, we can go on with that. It's not a problem. So then we've reported that production, and I can go back into priority. And we can see both of those items, those actions that I've just done in priority. So if I go to the purchase order, we had it at pending authorization. If I refresh that page, it's gone to authorized. And the same in our work orders. If I go to my work order, refresh that, then I've got my pack item. No, just go down to the next. So that's what I've just done. So you can see, it just interacts live, real time. You get the data into the software. You're not waiting with pieces of paper for somebody to put them in to the software, in the office, which is what situation we had the other day when I was talking to somebody. So that's that. Standard apps, really easy. One thing I've been kind of telling people about a lot is creating apps themselves, and I think this is a bit of a concern because it sounds really complicated. But what I'm going to do is show you how absolutely easy it is. So we just go into the software, system management, system maintenance, generations. Sorry, it's my eyesight, not the applications, application generator. So obviously you're licensed for this. This is what you will see in that menu. So all I need to do is give it a name. And what I'm going to do is create an app for myself. So I'm out on the road a lot. I'm visiting you guys. So I'm going to create an address lookup for myself because I'm that selfish. I just need to put in a language. And then down here, I've got all the forms that are available. I'm doing customers, so I tell it it's a form. You can do reports, etc., etc. You can add a lot of icons on the front should you need to. It's the customer form that I'm interested in because I'm talking about customers. So there we go. So that said, I'm doing customer form. Form columns is the next thing I need to complete. And as you can see, if I scroll down here, there are many, 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 many fields. Go on forever. And these are all the fields that are in the software. They're all selectable, so you can have whichever ones you want that are in there. So for myself, I want the customer name, customer number, and I want their telephone number. So I'm just going through these, clicking these. Don't want their fax number. I'm interested in their email address. And it's address lookup, so I need their address details. So I'm just going to pop it all on down until I get their address details. So let's put in the first line their address, the second line of their address, the city they're based in, and most importantly, their postcode. There we go. So those are the lines we've selected, and I can just do this quite easily just to make it a bit easier. So if I just do a search, click on record, that brings me up everything that I've just chosen. So nice and easy. We're shrinking it down, making our life a lot easier. So I'm going to put this in position order. I'm sure you're all familiar with doing this in tens so that you can add bits in later. You can shuffle bits in if you need to. So I'll just go down there. So that's that done. So we've got some columns here. We've got a preview screen. What do we want to put in the preview screen? We want the customer name, maybe put their telephone number in, and their street address. What do we want searchable? Well, I want the customer name searchable. And I might put their customer number in as well, just to do that. And then the only other thing I really need to do is tell it, the software, that this is a phone number. So put in a P there. And we're going to see why I do that in a minute. So that is effectively an app created. It's very simple, deliberately. So I just go up to here, and what we do see is our activations. So we've got a number of activations. These are quite important. So probably the most important one is duplicate applications. So you can take one of the standard apps that Priority has given you, and like I said, you can just remove some items, and then you've got a custom app for yourself. So you've just duplicated what they've got. and adapted it. Or you can adapt something that you've already created yourself. Really easy. So we've got refresh application if we've made a change. And then we've got the one I'm going to use now, which is send link to app. And basically what that does, it sends a QR code to your email address. So just bear with me a second. And you are going to have to believe me at this point, because I can't show you two screens at once, so you'll have to believe what I do. So if I wait for the email. So there we go. Easy as that. There's my QR code. And it will prove it to you. So I just go back into my app, click on the plus button, and then it's again using the camera to scan that QR code. And that's the app in the software. So if I flick back to that, like I said, I'll prove it to you. Address lookup, it's there. I can click on into it. And we have the customer form. Click into that, and I go search for a customer. So there's all the details I asked for it to put in. So we've got an email address, got a telephone number. As you can see on the right-hand side of the phone number and the email address, I've got a little icon with the phone and the email. That's nice. We can use it for the phone. Oop, flicked back 2 times. Sorry. We use it for the phone. We can use it for email. But what it does really nicely is we've got some really lovely functionality where if I slide it to the right, there we go. So if I'm out on the road and I just want to look somebody up really quickly, I can just put in there ENG, and then I can click call, press the call button, interacts with my phone, telephone number's in there, I can give them a call. Similarly with the email address, it interacts with my phone email, great. And then the next thing is the route. And what that does, Google is my route planning software. And it will tell me where the RFU is, and it will give me directions. So then I can get into my car, travel there. It tells me how long it's going to be. It just links up. So it just shows you how much priority I've thought about the usage of the software. We've got barcoding embedded in there. We've got it interacting with your phone in there. It's just incredibly useful. So that's a couple of standard apps we've had a look at. We created a custom app, and Jack is on form, and we're going to talk about licensing. So I just need that, and to my next screen. So licensing, like I said, users are using it in a different way, and Priority have recognized that. So there's some different licensing. There's a different licensing model. So we have the mobile app itself, £200. If you're purchasing it, uses 20% support and maintenance. If you're on subscription, £10 a month. Really cheap. App Generator is free at the moment, so you can generate your own apps for free when you've bought the mobile app. And for full users, any full user that you have, if you want to give them access to the app, it's completely free of charge. They can have it, they can use it, no problem. But if you want purely an app user, instead of paying for a whole user, you can just pay £300 and they'll be able to use the app. They can access any form you want them to, but they're doing it via the app rather than the desktop. So each app uses £300 with a maintenance charge of £60 and a monthly subscription of £15. And what this does allow you to do, like I was saying earlier, is expand use of Priority onto the shop floor, into other areas where it wouldn't normally be, where you're scared of buying a whole new license. It allows people to be responsible for what they're doing and report on what they're doing, and it gives you better data back. So one of the things that James was talking about, getting data back from the shop floor. So that is the app, Priority Mobile presentation for you. Do you want me to announce lunch, or do you want to say something? Do I let them go or not?
Thank you, James. Very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you. Amazing. And we are on time.